And hey, what's up guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. Alright, today we're going to talk a little bit about getting a little bit exotic in your special teams with your punt deal. Something I picked up a couple years ago from Ferris State Division II college. It's very good at what they do. They have a two-punter rugby system that they use, which is very interesting. It's new, unique. So I'm going to give you a little look at it, how you can use it. Maybe you can change up using two-punter rugby scheme into a base shield scheme if you are a shield team. So we're going to take a look at that. Make sure you check out our sponsors, GameStrat, which is a sideline replay system we use. If you're looking for the fastest, most advanced, and one of the cheapest replay systems on the market, check out GameStrat. There'll be a link in the description box below. Defensive Coordinator 1, which is an app that lets you use live in-game data to make adjustments on the field. So you're charting the game upstairs in the app as it happens. You already have things preloaded into the app. So you have formations and runs and passes, tendencies, and plays built into the app. You start charting the game and you find out what they're running, what you thought they were going to run, what they ran against what you called. So you're actually able to use live in-game data to make critical in-game adjustments. The Difference USA, which is the ultimate striking machine, working on striking and hand placement. You can put them in your weight room. You can put them out on the field. It's very mobile. It's easy to move. It's a small dummy with set up so that it's got slight arms to it so that you can get your kids to understand where to place their hands, strike it in. It's got different spring tensions for your younger kids. As you get to your older kids, that makes it harder, to press in. But it is a strike machine that has to work on hand placement, elbows in, thumbs up, and you physically have to be able to strike that, roll hips, do all the things that you want to talk about when talking about proper striking. MAXOne, which is an app that allows you to streamline communication, organization, and workouts all into one platform. So you can set up your schedules, calendars, workouts, everything in one platform. You can use that system also to message your team. You can communicate with your team through that system. So it's something that streamlines communication for a head coach and puts it all into one app for you to use. JustPlayFB, which is the diagram tool that I use when I'm drawing up diagrams for webinars, clinics, anything that I speak at. If I do draw anything up for a playbook, I use JustPlay as my diagram tool. It's digital software that's going to help bring your program to the next level. And then Dome Hats, which is the headwear sponsor for Play Fast Football, one of our major sponsors at the Play Fast Football Clinic this January 2020 in St. Augustine, Florida. So custom quality hats, beanies, visors, local company here in Jacksonville, Florida that does work all around the country. Check them out, www.domeheadwear.co. Alright, so check out Dome. So today we're going to be looking at a two-punter rugby scheme. It's a little bit different, a little exotic. Some people may not be into it. Some people may not feel like it's something feasible, something you can do. Some people may not have a left-footed and a right-footed punter. So if you have a left-footed and a right-footed punter or athletes that can do it, and it's a simple rugby scheme for the punters to be able to take 3 or 4 steps to the outside to punt the ball. If you can do that, then it's something you're going to want to look at. It works really well as a change-up. Works really well when you can use it with a shield system as well. Anytime you're going to go to a rugby punt system, it's something where you are trying to alleviate the rush. You're trying to get the punter outside, moving a little bit. You're trying to buy time for coverage to get down the field. Usually when you're rugby punting, you don't get a lot of hang time. The punts are kind of low. They hit the ground, they roll, they bounce all over the place. But what you're trying to do is get guys down the field, trying to change the launch point of the punter. You're trying to set it up so that you know where the pressure has to come from and where you have to protect it from. But think about it, if you had two punters, if you had a long snapper that could snap the ball in the general direction of either punter, you had two punters lined up back there, and they can't line up their punt block team based on which way you're going to rugby punt because they don't know which way you're going to rugby punt. So here's what we've done with the scheme. Here's what we've taken to make it real simple. We use 3-foot splits up front with guards and tackles. We play with gunners out wide. We block both sides inside. So we make it real simple for our kids. Our guards drop step, run through the A-gap, redirect anything in the A-gap for 2 steps. We don't use a count system. We use it as a straight zone scheme, straight area scheme. Guards drop step, crossover run. Anything in the A-gap's got to get directed for 2 steps. They're releasing down the field to cover. Tackles, drop step, crossover run. Redirect anything in the B-gap. Get down the field to cover. So on both sides, you got guards, drop step, crossover run, redirect in the A-gap. both tackles, drop step, crossover, run, redirect in the B gap, get down the field. I have seen some people, because of how they are moving, depending on which side they are rugby punting to, there are some people that will flip the net, all right, and take the guys that are working in towards the side that you're rugby punting. So if I was rugby punting to the right, these guys that are working to the right would flip the net and end up on the right side of the returner. Okay, the guys that were working inside away from the rugby punt would end up on the left side of the punter. We do not do that, all right, simply because I think it's a little bit too much for the kids that we have and the amount of time that we spend on special teams. We release our guys inside, then down the field, and then we try and work on, after they release inside and down the field, we try and work on redirecting and getting that net spread out. We send our gunner straight down, our center straight down. Center's always got to try and turn the returner to the shortest side of the field. Ball's in the middle, he's got to pick a side. Always try and send that returner one way. We kind of get our gunners to get aggressive and go down the field, be headhunters, go down and try and make tackles. All right, try and get our center to turn that returner one way, and then get our gunners again, be guys that we want to be aggressive down the field. Now, the only thing you need to do is with your up backs, if you're going to rugby punt to the right, all right, then your right side up back needs to take the widest thing off the edge that's coming, and then your left side up back after the snap passes him. And this is important, because when we first do this, a lot of times kids run and they get hit with the snap. That snap's got to pass him, and he's got to go block the next inside thing coming off the edge. Okay, so normally we work widest, second inside, right hand rugby punt. We would go into the ball, would be snapped to the right punter. 1, 2, 3, ball gets rugby punted. Left punter steps up after the snap, steps up and takes anything that might leak from the backside chasing through. Okay, so we've got a right side rugby where we take the two up backs and we go widest thing showing, next inside thing showing. Okay. Try to get good splits with our guys up front so it makes the edge come even wider. So they got to come from a longer distance and from a wider spot. We try to use linebacker, running back types that are more athletic back here, as opposed to just the big linemen that are in the shield. All right, because now that we don't have A-gap pressure, we're not as worried about the big bodies on the shield making people go around. What we're worried about is getting guys that are athletic enough to run. Okay, and then it sets up some good things when we incorporate some fakes. If we were going to go to the left, we would do the same thing. So if we were going to go to the left and we made a call to the left, we would do the same thing, except we would snap the ball to the left punter. He's got the first widest thing off the edge. He's got the next thing off the edge. Left punter 3 steps to rugby. Right punter step up and seal anything coming from the backside. All right, so you have simple rugby punts right, rugby punts left. We don't change the protection. We don't change anything with the gunners. We don't flip the net. We send our guys down the field. All right, we have pretty good success when we do use this. All right, when we've used it in some springtime scenarios, and when we have used it in some scrimmage type settings. We've had different good success, I should say, not different, good success with coverage. Rugby punts are coming out kind of low, they're hitting the ground, haven't given up a lot of big returns. Haven't used this in a game yet, but we will be using it in a game in the future. All right, so this is one of the things that we will be doing. All right, rugby punter on our 2 punters. If you have a snapper that can get it to both punters, all right. And then something else that we do is we like to mix in with the same group depending on the personnel. Now for us in high school, our punters are usually athletic type kids. They're not just straight punters. So a lot of times what we'll also do is we'll go from this system, all right, and then we'll line up in this system and we'll shift to a shield system. So we'll take, all right, our right punter and we will shift him up right before the snap. So obviously we make a different call to our punt team. It's not the same call as our right rugby, left rugby, but we'll go to a shield punt where we will make a call that takes the right punter up and makes him the shield player there. The left punter becomes the regular punter here. We then work drop step, crossover, run out, drop step, crossover, run out, drop step, crossover, run, redirect, drop step, crossover, run, redirect. Now they're working their way down the field there, working their way down the field there, center. All right, and then we go to a regular shield where after this ball passes us, we tighten the shield down to make that 3-man shield, and we go to a regular shield system and try to get everything coming inside to go around the shield, and then the timing of the snap, the punt, punter stepping up directly into the shield makes everything that you spill wide, all right, go around the punt. So this way now, we carry, all right, rugby right, we carry rugby left, and then we carry generic shield punt. Okay, the reason we do that is because now that when you set up your rugby punts, they're going to have to determine if they want to rush those rugby punts. If they feel like they know what side the punt's coming from, they're going to have to try and get their rush coming from wide on the rugby punts. They're not going to want a lot of interior pressure. All right, so once we've set up that we can rugby right or left, we like to carry the shield punt, because now that they're going to work with exterior rugby style pressure, where they're going to bring pressure from the outside, now we want to have a shield system that when we shift to it, they can't bring all that pressure in the A-gap. So if we feel like we're playing teams that like to bring pressure in the A-gap, we like to rugby right or left and block that pressure down. If we're playing teams where they start rushing guys from wide to defend against the rugby punt, then we shift to a shield punt, and we use a base, generic, very simple area, drop step out, redirect whatever is in your gap for 2 steps, get down the field. Now if they've got pressure coming from wide, now we're punting the ball in the shield, so all that pressure coming from wide doesn't get to the punter in the shield. And then we always carry 1 or 2 fakes when we're doing these things. So now, rugby right, rugby left, shield punt, okay, 2 fakes. What ends up happening after a while when you do it correctly, and what I've watched Ferris State doing, a lot of times teams just stop rushing and they set up returns because they don't know where to come from. So your protection and your punts blocked goes down because teams don't even rush the punter anymore because they don't know where or how to set up the punt rush. So it alleviates some pressure. They can't really set up a great punt block. They don't know whether it's coming rugby right, rugby left, shield. All right, and then you have 1 or 2 fakes you always carry to keep them on their heels. So one of the reasons we do it is because it's different, makes people prepare for something different. At the same time, while people are preparing for something different, okay, being able to do it and make teams prepare for it is a little bit interesting. Takes time away from their special teams, or adds time to their special teams preparation. So makes it a little bit exciting for the kids. It's something you don't see a lot of, so we carry it. It's something we try to do when we have an athletic right-footed punter. Last year we only had a right-footed punter, so we can only rugby right and shield. This year we have a left-footed punter and a right-footed punter, so we can do both of those things. Makes the game fun for the kids, keeps it interesting, and then the way we teach it, it keeps the time and the reps involved. It keeps it to a minimum to where blocking it with an area, either inside or outside, redirecting for 2 steps, it makes it a lot easier to get the protection taught, because a lot of times punt is one of the first things in the special teams you can get hurt on real quick. A bad punt, a block punt, pressure on a punt can get you in a lot of trouble and flip the field position. So punt is something that you need to spend time on. If you don't have a lot of time to spend on it in a high school setting, then you want something that has very simple rules that you feel you can do effectively over and over again. And you don't want, too many nuances with a crazy count system, a man side, a zone side, all the different looks that you got to count out, because you have to spend time repping all those things. And if you don't have enough time to spend that, then I'd rather come up with something that is simple within the nature of its rules and simple in how we do it, so we don't have to spend as much time on it, but we're still effective on the field. Last year we had 1 punt blocked, and it was when we rugbyed, and we screwed up the protection a little bit, had 1 rugby punt blocked. Punter took a little bit too long to get it off and too far into the line of scrimmage. So our rugby style, our shield style has been pretty effective for us, even though we teach it very generically and very simply. A lot of people talk about, well, do you have a count system? Do you man it? Do you do different things? No, we don't. It's been good to us. That's the way we do it. I'm sure other people have a different way of doing it, and that's fine. We choose to do it our way because of time involved, teaching involved. And then this gives us the left rugby, right rugby gives us a little bit more of a intrigue factor to where they can't really rush. All right, so we're also today, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to release the 3rd speaker to our Play Fast Football Clinic, January 24th, 25th, 26th, 2020. All right, the 3rd speaker released is going to be Randy McPherson from Lowndes County High School in Georgia. All right, Randy McPherson is a 23-year head football coach, overall record of 238-54, 4-time state champion, 2-time state runner-up, 12-time region champion. He's made the playoffs 21 out of 23 years. He's had 6 undefeated regular seasons. He's never had a losing record. He's a 2-time Florida Coach of the Year, 3-time Georgia Coach of the Year, all right? And to our knowledge, he's the only coach to win a state championship in Georgia and in Florida. So you add Randy McPherson to the mix of Joey Wiles and Rick Darlington, and now the first 3 speakers we've announced, we've got multiple-time state champions. Got a guy that's won a state champion in 2 different states. All right, we've got 3 big-time head coaches with big-time win-loss records and guys that I think are going to bring a lot to the table all in one setting, all in one clinic. All right, so that is Randy McPherson, the head coach at Lowndes High School in Georgia. All right, again, just to reiterate, 4-time state champion, 2-time state runner-up, 6 undefeated regular seasons, never had a losing record as a head coach. I think that's pretty strong. Add that to Coach Wiles and Coach Darlington. I think we've got something really good going with the Play Fast Clinic. Make sure you check out the Play Fast Football Clinic, www.playfastfbclinic.com. You can get your room at the Embassy Suites. You can check out the bios that I have on the 3 speakers that are up there. You can get vendor information. You can get information on the hotels if you're staying at the Embassy Suite, and then there's some other hotels listed on there. So make sure you check it out. We think it's going to be a great clinic. We're really excited. Baker Sporting Goods, major sponsor. Dome, Headwear, major sponsor. Clinic is presented by Score Fundraising. All great companies, all great people. Make sure you check it out. All right, remember, I'll see you guys next time. You're in season. Good luck to you with what's going on. I hope you win all the games that you're playing in. Thanks for watching. Won't play well till you play fast. See you next time.